being able to approach photography with an open mind is to be able to stop giving you pressure and to give you expectation. Hey Wiki Hunters, welcome back to the Art of Photography podcast, where we share our passion and we share how photography gives us hope, purpose, and happiness. So, what does approaching photography with an open mind means to me? Just referring back to what I had a chat with Johannes the other day, and hopefully you listened to that podcast. It was quite a fun one, and Johannes have a really interesting approach in terms of photography. Some of his stuff is really interesting. Some of the things that you wouldn't have find from other photographers. So highly encourage you to check out his work and also listen to the work. But he emphasized on this thing about approaching photography with an open mind. So what does that mean to myself? Seeing that this is a take me my take on session. To me, being able to approach photography with an open mind is to be able to stop giving you pressure and to give you expectation. I think that is the big thing. And I'm releasing a series on a YouTube video on how to avoid burnout or how to cure a burnout in photography. And one of the reason was to shoot with no expectation, because I think there is a lot of pressure for a lot of us content creators and photographers to create something that is unique, something that is out there, something that is stand out, and it just never ends, right? There's always something you need to create better. Now, we got into photography for most cases not because any of that. We just like to document and take photos and all that stuff. I'm not saying that it's not important to progress in photography. I myself never thought that I would earn awards from my photos. I thought it was always a far-fetched thing, right? But here I am now. I've managed to kind of break into those and stand right next to a lot of the people who have won a lot of that awards. So but at the same time, a lot of those, it's really important that you shoot for yourself. I think in this episode he also talked about that: shoot for yourself, express the way you feel, the way you're feeling, the way you interpret things. And he was talking about how he finds symbolism in his photography. So that is something that really relates to him. It's not necessarily relates to me, but by shooting without an expectation, you can see all that. Now, the problem with, or not the problem, the danger with social media is that although it gives you an inspiration on what are good to shoot at different angles, when you get to a places what are to look for, a lot of times, because you're thinking that way, you have already made your expectation. You want to go there, you want to face this direction, and you want this certain photo. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's hard to say, but I think it's important for you to have to keep your mind open, because a good example is when I live in Lake Louise, I always shot over the glacier. It's what everyone takes, and that's what everyone shot as well. So I worked there over the summer last year. I see hundreds and thousands of people visiting there every single day. The broadwalk was just always full by the board shed. Now, one thing that I realized is that as soon as they get there, they have this certain expectation. So they get to the broadwalk, they take their photo, and they go home. Now, little that they know is that if they spend an extra 5 minutes, just cross the bridge. The bridge is one of the most beautiful places to shoot. Now, if they cross the bridge, past the trees, come through the trees and look back, there is another unique perspective there. They could keep walking around the trees, and they will also find a different also a better perspectives, less crowded perspective compared to the broad wall. So that just goes to show, like, and this walk doesn't take long. It's not a long hike. There is not a lot of elevation gain. It's basically a stroll in the park, and it doesn't take you more than 5-10 minutes. But most people get so fixated with what they've seen, they get to that place, take that shot, and they go home because yeah, that was the preconceived expectation in their head, right? So that is what I mean by approach photography with open mind. By approaching photography with an open mind, you are able to create something that is unique, something that is true to yourself. And it is hard sometimes because, for example, if you go to Paris, you've seen thousands and thousands of photos of the Eiffel Tower. So how do you create one that is unique? That is really, really difficult to take away that preconceived idea. But maybe when you get there, something happened. Maybe there was a thunderstorm. Maybe, maybe the snow was pouring in. Maybe the fog was thick, and then there is this one person standing in there, and it creates a beautiful contrast. Whatever it is, come to your photography with an open mind, mean that you can see what's else that's happened around you. You don't necessarily fixate it with that famous perspective, and for that reason you have a better chance to see, to observe, and to capture something that is you. Like you are one in a million, and so is and when you say, how can I take a photo that is unique and stand out, and that is part of it. Create a photo that speaks to you, that express yourself. Well, Wiki Hunters, that's been fun, and hopefully let me know on the comment below what do you think about this podcast episode, as well as the conversation that I had with Johannes. Johannes was I came across Johannes on one of the project back in Perth, and I truly fall in love with his approach in photography. Not necessarily his genre. It's not something that that I would say I'm passionate about, but it's great to open my mind and open my perspective. And back to what he say, by doing that, by opening my perspective, I could approach photography with an open mind. Well, hopefully you had fun listening to this episode, and please let me know in the comment below, and also don't forget to subscribe. Now, this episode is also available on Apple Podcast for those of you who listen to in Apple software or iOS, I suppose. But for those who's not, you can go to podcast.thewickedhunt.com, and I highly encourage you to check out Johannes' work and look at some of his unique perspective and see how it can open your mind. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, Wicked Hunters, and I'll see you next time. Have a good week ahead. Catch you later. Bye.